主席先生，今天安理会讨论防止恐怖主义分子获取武器问题，并将通过一项决议，这是非常重要和必要的。Mr. President, the Council stressed in many of its resolutions the importance of preventing terrorist access to weapons. The current draft resolution, once adopted, will add further tasks to CTED's mandate in this area. Under the policy guidance of the Counterterrorism Committee, CTED is required to monitor, facilitate, and promote the implementation of the above resolutions by member states, and to support the policy development of the committee and the council, and their efforts in defining the international counterterrorism agenda. We are proud to support the policy responses of the committee and the council on a broad range of counterterrorism issues through our assessment visits, our analysis, and our identification of trends and challenges, gaps, and good practices. Our analysis has revealed a wide range of concerns with respect to terrorist access to weapons, including A, poor stockpile management and shortcomings in monitoring the production, control, sale, brokerage, export and import of small arms and light weapons. B, looting of military arsenals. C, transnational organized crime. D, weak border controls. E, the activated and reactivated weapons. And F, international arms trade and trafficking via the internet, in particular via the dark web markets. Mr. President, even though member states have achieved significant progress in addressing these issues, there's a need for further effort, including 1, reviewing and strengthening national legislation on countering the supply and trafficking of weapons to terrorists. 2, strengthening national control regimes for the possession, use, and transfer of weapons. 3, ensuring that weapons held by defense and security forces are properly stored and controlled. 4, preventing the flow of weapons to conflict-affected regions and conflict zones. 5, strengthening professional and expert training, including through the provision of modern technology and equipment. 6, effective implementing arms embargo in accordance with the relevant Security Council resolutions. And 7, strengthening and expanding cooperation and partnership with UN entities, international and regional organizations, and civil society. Mr. President, the country visit remains a critical tool for CTED. It enables us to assess member states' overall national counterterrorism efforts and their specific achievements, strengths, weaknesses, and technical assistance needs, as well as to identify and promote good practices. We will continue to make optimum use of this vital tool, including within the framework of the post-visit information sharing and facilitating the delivery of technical assistance with our implementing agencies. Cooperation with other UN entities and international and regional organizations is essential to CTED's work. In this regard, I would note that CTED is chair of the CTITF Working Group on Border Management and Law Enforcement, and works closely with the ISIL and Daesh Committee Monitoring Team, ODA, UNMAS, UNODC, Interpol, and WCO, as well as with many other international and regional organizations. CTED has also contributed to a number of initiatives, including the development of ISACs, the Interpol illicit arms records and tracing management system, and the Central Africa counterterrorism and small arms and light weapons strategy. CTED and Interpol recently signed a formal cooperation agreement, which will enable us to deepen our cooperation in denying terrorist access to weapons. It is also essential to raise member states' awareness of this topic and promote related international good practices. In this regard, the committee, with the support of CTED, has arranged a series of related thematic and regional briefings. CTED will continue to pay increased attention to new and emerging threats and trends, and strengthen its efforts to assist member states to address new risks deriving from international arms trafficking via the internet and across borders. Mr. President, just last week, under your able leadership and stewardship as chair of the committee, CTED finalized the updated version of the technical guide to the effective implementation of the Council resolutions 1373, 1624, 2178, and other relevant Council resolutions and decisions. The technical guide serves as a comprehensive and unique reference tool both for CTED and for member states in our joint efforts to counter a broad range of terrorist threats, including access to weapons. Mr. President, preventing and eliminating the supply of weapons to terrorists is a complex task. But please rest assured that CTED will continue to strengthen its engagement with the UN entities and international and regional organizations in accordance with the relevant Security Council resolutions to assist member states to deny terrorist access to weapons. Thank you, Mr. President.